Let me know if you can hear me. Kilimanjaro, hello. Eric is playing a Petrov. Hello to Goblin Tenebrae. Got Dylan. Sean Cahoy. Queen Trap MCC. Magnus is not playing today from what I saw. This is the pairings. Low to Mateus. Arian is playing here. Let me just rotate the board here. Arian is playing a Grunfeld. See what white does here. There's a lot of different things that white can do. Bishop c4, even knight c3. Yeah, knight c3. Black's plans to go c5, castle. Ooh, bishop b5 is like a very popular line. I think it's pretty trendy these days. You're supposed to go bishop d7. Even knight c6, d5 might be a thing, but do I have my coffee? I definitely do not, Goblin. I'd rather get the extra 5 minutes of bedtime. Bedch. Yeah, knight c6 is very interesting. You're gonna fall asleep to my voice? I might fall asleep to my own voice too. Kappa. How's your morning going, Big Gob? That's okay, I'll call myself boring as well. I slept at like 4 a.m. last night, and even then I didn't really sleep. So I'm pretty much on like 2 or 3 hours of sleep. Let's go back to Eric's game. What's going on here? There's no moves. Let me see if I can find the other games. Wait, who are the other players? Wait, Fibo. Fibo, that's not one of them. Moves are coming in very slow. There's a lot of Norwegians in these games that are not part of this team. Bishop d4 in Eric's game. Yeah, Eric's game yesterday was that was a weird one. It was very up and down. He was like completely lost, and his opponent just blundered away the game pretty much. But that's what happens. That's chess for you. Chief always likes to take his time. Noted. Magnus is not playing today, which is unfortunate for me, but maybe fortunate for you guys, because you don't get to get the quality commentary anyway. So you might as well save it for another day. Just because I'm bored, let's go to the Anand game. Ooh. Wow, bishop c4. It's an interesting move. It's definitely not main line here. But maybe it's like very popular. Wow. What a game so far. Yeah, I'm sure it's theory. I just I mean, well, first of all, I'm not really familiar with e4 e5 lines, but here like I'm just familiar with taking like c3. Very dynamic position though. I'm sure like this is fine for black and white is maybe just very slightly better. Okay, we got some moves here. So Eric played d4. d4, knight takes, e4, bishop d3. I kind of like the way he's setting this up as white. It looks pretty aggressive. Because now, you know, white is going to castle and get a timely f3. To kick away the knight. And maybe start some attacks here with the bishop. Hello to Gory, 5 a.m. over here. Sounds fun. Aryan's game, he's still so we got castle and he's thinking on this move. I'm sure here he can just castle. There might be some lines with a6, but that doesn't seem good. I don't think you want to play a6. What else? Maybe queen b6 could be something. But again, I don't like queen b6 either. So maybe like rook b1. So I think, yeah, probably best just to castle and ask white what he's doing. Yes, sacking, always sack. Always sack the bishop on h2/h7. That's the way to go. Man, if this is theory, I would I would not want to be on the black end of this. I gotta say, like, if this is actually theory, I would play this as white, like instantly. Really like white here. But I mean, it's a different story in classical, but I feel like in blitz, um, you have an easy game as white. This is coming. For everyone that's just joining, these are the pairings today. You can see we got Arjen on board 1, Eric on board 2, Johann Sebastian Christensen on board 3, etc., etc. I guess I can pull up the fourth board. Chess.com Interbase, always fun to navigate. Have to go through like 80,000 names to find the one you're looking for. Still no game in this one. Or no moves, I mean. Control F, it doesn't work for some reason. Control F doesn't work on here. It's weird, but oops. Okay, so we got some moves here. 95, 97, 95, 97, knight c3, take. Yeah, I mean, objectively, of course, this is very equal, but again, lots of ideas here for white. It's definitely not like the typical dead position that you would get from Petrov. So there's some imbalances here. Namely the double C pawns. But with that, it comes to the open B file and some dynamic play on these diagonals where white can try to attack. For example, maybe castle f4. And okay, if you're feeling feisty, trying to maybe do a rook lift on g3 or h3, depending on where the pieces go. is always an idea. Will Amon be joining us today? Amon is doing commentary. CGC commentary. Wow, white took that knight. I wonder if... I don't know if I like that move. I think as white, you're pretty happy to see this. This pawn is a bit annoying on e5. But that does allow black to go c5. You do have to be careful of bishop b5 though. So maybe just staying solid with c6 is better. Did Eric win yesterday? Yes, he did. He won from a pretty bad position, but it was a win nonetheless. Askana, hello. Just checking out Eric's game. Go back to Aryan here. Looks like he just decided to castle and take queen c2. Okay, this is I mean, it doesn't get any more Grunfeld than this. Very typical structure. Black though has to be quite active, I feel, here. What are some moves? I always like playing queen a5. Queen c2 could be an idea as well, but maybe it's a bit less active. Something to be said about bishop a6. And then lastly, I think taking could be a thing as well. Take, for example. And now bishop a6. Could be an interesting idea. For example, here, rook d1 and rook c8. To play c5. What else could you do here? After queen c2. Yeah, I mean, in these positions, you don't really want to play c4 because it takes away the tension in the center. Queen a5, also a good move, I think. Bishop d2. Threatening c4. Yeah, you have to be quite accurate here. This is extremely theoretical. And you know, you have to be very familiar with the lines. I know Aryan is. He plays the Grunfeld. It's pretty much his main opening against d4. But I think personally, if it was me here, I'd definitely play queen a5, I feel. Seems like the correct idea. Usually you want to get your queen there so you can put your rook on the d8 square. But yeah, I would say that this is very comfortable to play as black. Like, normally in these Grunfeld structures, you have to deal with black's bishop pair, but here black took on c6, so there's not a lot of like tactical things that you have to worry about here as black. Rook b1, b8, also an idea. Another thing about queen a5 is that it defends c5. In some lines, white might actually be able to take on c5 right now because the c3 pawn is defended. And they could actually try and hold on to the pawn through bishop e3. For example, if we just do a nothing move, take, bishop e3, and okay, yeah, your pawn on c3 is hanging, but this is nothing to worry about here as white. You're actually quite happy. This is a very annoying pawn to have to deal with. Quite cramping. But yeah, let's see what happens. Let's go back to Eric. For those that missed it, we'll play the moves again. And here, bishop c5. Yeah, I think here as white, you just castle. And you know, as black, I don't know if you can. Yeah, you can castle pretty easily here. This is nothing. Or is it something? I don't know. Looks a bit annoying, actually. What else can you do? Maybe you don't want to go that way. Maybe you just go bishop e6. But then bishop e6... Yeah, I think I like bishop e6 more than castling. Castling, there seems to be something bad about that, personally, I think. The Steinitz attack and the Petrov. Okay, so at this point, I'm assuming this game is just like not going to be covered. So I'll exit out of that. Let's go back to this Anand game. Pretty curious about how this finishes. I really like the way he's playing this. Wow, queen g5 here. It seems like it's such a random move, but has a very clear plan of going queen h6. Perhaps you can try and go bishop e3 and sack the b2 pawn. I would be very happy to do that as white. I'm sure this is still like main line. Hello to KNVB. Is WCM Emily J-Bell? I think it is, right? Hope to see you tonight, perhaps, J-Bell, depending. But there's a pretty good chance I'll see you, regardless of what happens. I'll let you know. I'm also on like 2 hours of sleep, so at some point I'll have to nap. Honestly, Arian's game is the most interesting. I'm gonna probably watch this most of the day. Not to say that Eric's game is not interesting, but I think somehow it's just going to be a drawish position. Um, though I think like based on the opening that we saw, the Petrov, like it doesn't get much more exciting than this. Yeah, I mean, I can't say that this is a drawish position. It's really not, but um, yeah. Actually, I don't know what black does here. Like, it must be bishop e6. There's no way you can just castle. Just seems like it's too much. King h1, f4, f5. Yeah, makes sense. I like this pawn on e5 a lot. I think it's a bit of a thorn in the position for black. But yeah, with all that said, I think like Eric's winning chances in this position. Arian is thinking hard on this move. I still believe that Queen a5 is the idea here, but you could probably play it slow with, you know, Queen c7 um, could probably be good as well, but I'm just worried about g3 there, and the bishop is coming to f4. That's the only reason I wouldn't play Queen c7. But the candidate moves Queen a5, Rook b8, perhaps Bishop a6. Though you have to have a concrete plan with Bishop a6 because yes, you're getting a tempo on the Rook, but the Rook is just going to go to a better square, and then you could argue that the Bishop is not really doing anything on a6. So I'm not sure about Bishop a6 to be honest. A move like Bishop e6, it's probably playable. It's going to c4, so for example, Bishop e6, Knight g5, Bishop c4. It's definitely not good for white. So if you go Bishop e6, what does white even do here? Maybe Rook d1, and now Bishop g4. I don't know. Bishop g4 just in the first place. I was just thinking yeah, I think this is fine. I'm just thinking knight e5. We're not gonna take like this, are we? There's no way we're gonna do that. So if we're not doing that, then what happens here? Because the bishop is attacked and the pawn is attacked. I think as white, you're always happy if you can take this bishop on g7. Or, you know, exchange it off. And by the way, in this position, it's a bit annoying because now the bishop is not doing anything. So, I mean, I guess it's black to move. If you just go like queen here, and just play f4. This doesn't look good, I don't like it. So he went queen a5, which is the move that I liked. I would have definitely played this as well. But okay, I don't know the theory, but it just seemed like the most natural / most aggressive way to play. And now what does white do? In my line, I was saying bishop d2, which is, it's a bit of a passive looking move, but there's a very concrete threat of c4 and d5. So as I was saying before, let's say c4 here, the queen goes somewhere. You can actually consider playing d5 and giving up this rook. I've seen this idea a few times in these lines. And the point is that the bishop is now very strong and it could be worth the exchange. And also you just get a very strong pawn center here as white. Okay, it's hard to evaluate whether this is actually good or not in this specific position, but I think it could be an idea. If you don't play bishop d2, what do you play? Bishop e3. I like bishop e3 a lot, actually. I think it makes a lot of sense. Slag Dump. Hello. JC Digital Girl. Good morning. Paying attention to Aryan's game, yeah. I mean, the moves are coming very fast in that one. We're still kind of on a normal position here. Eric is in the tank. And the other board has no moves. I have a kind of a hard time finding the other games, by the way. Johann Sebastian Christensen. Somehow, maybe I'm blind, but I just can't find this game here. Oh, wait, no, never mind. I thought I found it. Oh, okay, I found it. There we go. Let's get rid of this one and look at this instead. French, Tarrasch. This is all very theoretical. 97. Idea with knight e7, I assume, is that he's going to go to g6 and he's going to go bishop d6 and play against the e5 square. The thing about knight g6 though is you always have to watch out. Your knight can get very bad here. For example, let's say castle, knight g6, g3, and white is trying to render the knight on g6 useless by covering the key squares f4 and h4, and also playing f4 or h4 themselves. But this is a typical plan. Bishop d6 will happen, and some stuff with f6, maybe after castling. But no, I think personally, I like this line for black. Three blacks in a row for Christensen. Poor guy, hey? Still no moves in the Eric game. Oh, yeah, we did get a move. He just castled, though. Which is, like, pretty much the only move that made sense there. So, can't say I'm surprised. I'm more curious now about what black is going to do. I'm sorry, but I can't come up with a plan for black. Like, is black going to queenside castle? Because if so, then they have to go, like, bishop e6 and queen d7. But it just seems so slow. Like, okay, bishop e6, king h1 to go f4. Queen d7. Okay, maybe not queen d7. Maybe queen e7 is better there. Now f4. And sorry, I'm going to take back my move because actually queen d7 after f4 you can try bishop g4. Not that it's like a very good move, but I don't know. I think white still has a very easy game here. It's harder to come up with a plan as black. The Anand game. Black is desperately trying to trade queens, understandably. I think if black trades queens, then there's absolutely no worries in this position. Well, he's also just up a pawn, which is kind of nice. But how do we avoid the trade here? If we go here, just queen g7. So do we need to go all the way back to e3? Important to note, after queen e3, knight here doesn't work because of check. Because this move would actually normally be pretty devastating. Coming to c2 and d3. Is there another way you could do it? Knight here. This might actually just be hanging. Don't see a tactic here. Oh, I do. Bishop here. So maybe you don't want to take that pawn. Yeah, I don't want to allow it. Bishop f5. Queen g3 makes a lot more sense. Same kind of idea here. If knight here, you go queen b3 and pick up the knight. So indirectly defending that, which is nice. If we go knight here, you can actually take on c7 probably. Queen g3 makes a lot of sense. I just like, yeah, it's attacking c7, but the queen really is not like doing anything else, which is a bit worrying. Although it is supporting bishop g5. I just really don't like this pawn on e4. I feel like this pawn on e4 is like extremely cramping for white, which is why black is completely fine here. Alfishi says 95 f4. F4? Is f4 like theory here? Because this looks really bad. I would never play f4 here. It looks bad on so many levels. I would stop analyzing and just say that white is better or black is better. Like for example, well, why don't we just play something like knight g4 here? We're not gonna take e takes f4. After knight g4, this seems very bad because h3 we can consider even. We can consider even just going back to h, or not back, but going to h6. In the worst case, queen b6 and knight f6 maybe, or knight h6 actually seems fine. Guys, we just released a YouTube video. Exclamation mark new vid. I believe it should show up. It's Amon's take on the Hans Niemann report. Make sure you check that out. I'm just gonna grab my phone here. What else is there? Let's see some of the other high level games. Got a Nantes. Let's watch this guy. Amin Tabatabai. Ooh, an exchange variation. Fun, fun, fun. I really like this for black. I think it's like a pretty easy game. Some very clear plans here. Blockading on the light squares, going b5 is probably a bit too much, but yeah, knight c4 is coming, and maybe even bishop c6 to clamp down on e4. Yeah, I could take a coffee, Aman. That would be great. Just a black, please. Fast, bro. Okay, we gotta move here. So black did end up just castling, which is fair. I mean, this looks dangerous, but it's very defendable, I'm sure. I just don't know if this is a position I'd want to defend as black. Like, I'd rather just go into something else if I'm going to play castle and have to deal with queen h5, queen h6, but to each their own. Maybe actually here you just play h3. Yeah, h3 is definitely the better move, by the way. So castle, castle, if queen h5, h6, correction, sorry, not h3. And now it's a bit less clear what you're going to do. Hello to Nimzo Bo. Nimzo Bo from Norway. Maybe you're feeling a bit of nationalistic pride watching us cover the Offerspiel games. It looks dangerous, but yeah, I think it looks dangerous, but objectively, this is still probably okay for black. The key thing here is that bishop on c5 stops f4. So as white, you need to waste a move to play f4. Like, if in this position you could immediately play f4, I would be pretty worried, but the fact that you have to go king h1, it gives a bit of time for black to consolidate, I think. I just can't come up with an idea. Like, how do we trade some pieces here for black? Maybe rook e8? I like to get rook e8 in because maybe bishop f8 is a good resource in the future. The bishop can really only go to e6. But I just don't know if I want my bishop on e6, because if I'm going king h1, bishop e6, then f4, and f5 is going to come with tempo. And it's like, what are you even doing as black? Because there's like no way to stop f5. And if you get f5, then like, are you not just like winning as white? Not sure. I'm still very confused about how black is going to go about playing this. I must be missing something very clear. If g6 happens, then you have another problem. If h3 happens, then you have to deal with king h1. Don't know. This should be pretty interesting. I don't know. Personally, I think Eric's position is great. It's like as good as it could have been from a Petrov. Because this is like the opposite of a position you would get from the Petrov. Quite imbalanced. Okay, so we did play bishop e3 as white here, which is the move I was thinking of. I was deciding between bishop d2 and bishop e3, but I think bishop e3 is just the solid move here. Don't have to worry about anything. You know, you can always go bishop a6 in these positions, but you have to have a follow through, because like bishop a6, put the rook on d1. Now what is the bishop doing? Doesn't seem like the correct idea. I'd rather put the bishop on e6, because now I'm kind of baiting knight g5. And if I get my bishop on c4, then it's definitely serving a purpose, even if the rook moves, because now it's blockading the c-pawn. I think that can be very useful in the future. White will probably never play knight g5 in that position, by the way. After bishop e6, there must be a way better move. But I think personally, I really like bishop e6 over bishop a6.
Hello, Jeff. Morning.
Hello, thank you. Appreciate it.
Yep.
There's no way he's playing king h1 in that position? Bishop takes h6 is maybe a bit too high energy in this game, but okay, I respect it. Wait, oh my god, you're right. Actually, I think this works. Does it work? No, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Because here now, it like, are you gonna draw? Because if you take here, then we can just defend. Maybe. Rook takes f6. What's going on here? I don't believe it. I don't believe this is checkmate. Queen here doesn't work, right? And you're getting out? No, but this is a great point. This is a good point from Dave. Queen g5 in that position? Queen g5 where? What are you talking about? Queen g5 here? Okay, en passant. Rook takes f6. Queen g5. Why is this good? Can someone tell me why white is winning here? Or should I just stop listening to the suggestions and do my own thing? Defending this is insanely hard. I don't think it's insanely hard. You have to remember, this is a over-the-board classical game. What's the line? Bishop takes a6, g takes a6, queen takes, and f5, e takes, rook takes, queen h7, king f8, and rook a e1. Wow, that's an important move. That's the move that I missed. And now here you're definitely losing as black. Okay, interesting. So then in hindsight, then you do have to go g6, which was what I was thinking of doing in the first place. But now you just have to worry about things that you shouldn't have to worry about, you know? Like, you just have to be very accurate here as black. I'm not saying that this is losing, but it's just like unfortunate to want to play this from that initial position that we had. Feel like black should have gotten something more solid from the Petrov. No problem, Dave. For some reason, I mean, this is just my playing style, but I just never think about stacking which is like obviously a mistake, but I mean, if I have this position in a classical game, I would think a lot and I would probably sack, but just in blitz, it just never crosses my mind, even though it looks very good. So it's always good to get the suggestions. Keep them coming. Okay. So we'll see what Eric does here, but I'm pretty sure he's going to go Queen H5. It seems like the lines are cool there. Aryan is still thinking after Bishop E3. And yes, okay, so everything that I was saying happened here. Knight went to G6, Bishop E7, and okay. White did not play G3, which is what I was thinking maybe could be a idea. They went Rook E1, which also makes a lot of sense here. Supporting E5, and also if we ever take, opening up the bishop, we're also opening up the E file, and we have pretty nice pressure. But intuitively, I would say that white is not trying to take on D5. White is trying to play E5. Though in this position, Knight F4 might actually be a very real possibility. Knight F4, bishop takes, queen takes, E5. Okay, wait. I was a move behind. So black castled, and now it's white to move. E5 is a bit double-edged, because at the same time, like, it could also be a target, and it takes away the tension from the center. But I think it's the way to go, personally. I think it's very makes a lot of sense. But you could delay it potentially and just play like G3 now, maybe, to go H4. You know, the thing with G3 is that it also supports bishop F4 in the future. Not in this exact position, but maybe after H4, H5, the knight moves, you can get bishop F4. Good morning to Big Grilled Peppers. Yeah, I'm curious to see what happens here. I'm not really familiar with these structures, but all I know is this knight on G6 is very misplaced, and if I was white here, I would try and do something to kick it away. Let's go back to this position, just because I'm pretty curious about how to play here as black. So I played A4, which makes a lot of sense. If they go B5, they want to take and open the A file, and the B5 pawn will be quite weak. But maintaining this pawn on A6 and this pawn on B7 is still quite solid for black, I think. White's main break here is E4. So in some positions, they could go knight D2 and try and support E4. And I feel like as black, you want to try and stop that. So I would heavily consider bishop C6 here. My bishop is pretty crappy anyway. So why not put it on C6 and at least do something to delay White's plan of playing for E4. it also just kind of gets in the way of things. Yeah, I still think that black is doing very well here. Um, Seems like a nice structure to play. Ah, wait. Can we do this here? Is this a thing? No, because we take. So it's not really hanging a pawn. JC Digital Girl, 3 gifted subs. Thank you for the support. Appreciate that. The Nand game is getting a little spicy. Let's see what happened. So I assume this is all theory up to here. They played knight d4. So this pawn was not actually hanging because take and rook e7, and I think now there's too many holes in white's position to deal with. Because queen c4 check and bishop e6, and oh my god, this is really bad for white now. So that makes sense that that pawn was not actually hanging. They just played knight c3, which is very logical. Here, if knight c2, you go bishop g5, and then you can just play a rook to d1, and you're completely fine. They played c6, bishop g5. Yeah, I mean, I think black's completely fine here. This queen on g3 is a bit misplaced now, or at least it's not really doing anything. And okay, you can go bishop f4, but you're just chasing a queen. Hello to Matt Amoroso. Wait, in this position, you could technically just draw, right? Like, this could be a draw? Is that what we're gonna see? I'd be curious to know if that's how the game is gonna end. Still no moves in the Eric game. I'm assuming he's just oh, no, there is a move. Rook e1. He played rook e1. Yeah, this is the type of stuff that differentiates me as a pleb with a GM. Like, I would never play rook e1 here. I would play queen h5 automatic. But this is such an Eric move, rook e1. Just like, you know, just chilling. But it just goes against every single idea that I've noted in this position, which was king h1, f4, f5, and queen h5. Rook e1 is like a 200 IQ move. At least I assume it is. Doesn't black get queen h4 in this position? Queen h4? Yeah, but it's not really like attacking anything, right? stacking f2, but you can defend it in multiple ways, and then the queen is maybe misplaced. So for example, queen f3. Or no, actually here I would just play g3. I think g3 is the solid way to play. You would play bishop e3. Bishop e3 though is I guess it makes a lot of sense. I just don't know if I personally I want to keep my bishop pair. Like if I'm especially if I'm going for a win. But I guess this is a very good position to get. So I can respect bishop e3 for sure. It is a good move. Queen f3, by the way, in hindsight was not a good move. But I like g3 the most there. Oops, sorry. So yeah, if queen h4 here, I would personally just play g3. Like the queen is probably going to go to g4, or if it goes to g4, then I would play bishop e2, and I would put my bishop on f3 or something, like for example, something like this. And I hope that this is fine. Maybe king g2. Not king g2 actually, but yeah, I would just try and play this position. Hello to Spudge. Ryan Lockwood, that's a fresh prime. What's good? Hello. Good morning from Toronto, Ontario in Canada. Rook e1, bishop e6. Yeah, but now this looks like a pretty normal position. And we're just going for like a long-term plan as white. Maybe now bishop e3. Spudge subbed at tier 3 for 12 months. Thank you, Spudge. Hope you're doing well, sir. Long time no see. Rook b1 makes a lot of sense. By the way, Spudge, you finally got the gold horse. Spudge, have you been playing any tournaments recently or too busy with work? Let's look at the Aryan game. Yes, he played bishop e6, which is what I was thinking. This move makes a ton of sense. It's going to c4, and knight g5 is nothing because you just go here. And you're going to just kick the knight away after. I actually really like this position as black, to be honest. Like, I think there's a ton of cool ideas here. And believe it or not, these two pawns are actually like extremely useful in the position. c6 stops d5, and c5 puts tension on d4. And you don't really want to take it. Maybe now you're threatening to take it, but in general, you don't really want to take it as white because first of all, you're taking away from the center, and second of all, you're opening up the bishop on g7. Bishop c4 is extremely annoying. I agree. White played knight d2. The knight is going to go to b3, chase the queen and take the pawn. Or if the knight goes to b3 and we have to take it, then also we're very happy as white. So for example, a nothing move, knight b3, you're going to lose the pawn, so you have to take it, and this is a position that white would be thrilled to see, to say the least. So we have to do something about knight b3. First question is, what if we play c4? Now c4 is a pretty big commitment because you're now taking the tension off the center. But it comes with a pretty good reason. Stopping knight b3 is important, but I'm just thinking maybe now white actually would go back to f3 and just say that they have a better version of the previous position. So I don't know if c4 would actually be a good move. I personally would not play c4. How about a move like... Wait, knight b3 might not even be a threat, by the way. Let's say h6, knight b3. We can go queen a4. And now we have some time to decide what we're going to do. We don't really have to take. So if we go back and try and play a good move here instead of h6, what would we do? I think any rook on the open file could be good. The other thing is that after knight d2, white is actually threatening to go f4, which could put a lot of pressure on black. So black just has to come up with an idea. A lot of times you can actually go f5. Don't know if you want to do it in this specific position. Okay, let's just put this on the board because I'm curious. It's probably a really bad move, but I just don't see a way to like punish it immediately. So why is it a bad move? I don't know. Knight b3, queen a4. And let's say the queen goes somewhere. It can't really go on any of these squares because of bishop c4. Well, if it goes to this square, you go c4 and you win. If it goes to this square, you can pin it this way. It's actually a very interesting position. So the only move would be queen d2. No, but I really like Arjan's position here, actually. I think f5 is actually a pretty interesting move. Not sure he'll do it, but yeah, but I mean, I don't know any like theory here. I'm just going off my brain. This stuff is very theoretical. I'm sure Arjan is still in book, but intuitively, I feel like if you just play like any move here, rook b8, rook d8, even f5, I don't see anything wrong with f5 immediately, at least. Then we can get some counterplay. But if it was me, I would seriously consider f5 because I feel like this is the point in the game where black needs to do something. If we're too passive, then white will just get f4 and just roll down the center. And I don't know if we should allow that. Eval bar? Nah, that's boring. I mean, I can turn on the engine at some critical points just to see, but I'm going to try and keep it off. Unless people want me to check it at any point, just let me know. I mean, okay, we've kind of gone through this position quite a bit, so we can look at it here. Okay. F5 is not really a good move. Makes sense. But rook f b8. I'm sure rook b8 is fine as well. Yeah, I mean, it's playable. It's not that good, but... But the main line, or the best move in this position is he takes d4. And c5. Yeah, I mean, this is very, very... how to say it? Like, this goes against every Grunfeld idea, so it makes sense that this is the way to play. Just to take and put pressure again. You don't have your double pawns, you're going to play on the open files, and yeah, makes a lot of sense. Alright, we're getting rid of that shit. Back to using our brain. However boring that sounds. Kappa. Got some moves here in the Eric game. Rook e1, bishop e6, rook b1. Putting the rooks where they belong. Here b6. Still struggling to come up with like a concrete plan here for white, but I assume that Eric is just going to go bishop e3 now. And the good thing about bishop e3 is that now you can start playing f4, f5. And it's definitely like a slow approach, which is pretty much Eric's style. He's going to take this position slowly, which is, I'm sure, the best way to do it. I mean, in this position, Black probably doesn't want to allow this move where they have to take with the pawn, so they might just take themselves, or they might just go back actually. But not sure. Maybe no. Maybe they should be okay with taking back with the pawn. So for example, like let's say queen d7. Yeah, queen d7. If this happens, I think you're okay. And if f4, you just play like this or something. You like retreating? The only thing about retreating, putting your bishop on e7, is that now you have to deal with f5. And if you go queen here, this is probably fine for Black. Maybe now we can put our rook on f1. Not sure. Just to support f5. Smoka Hontas 85. Hello. There's no live feed of this tournament? Really? I thought there would be. That's pretty crazy. Let's see how this game progressed. So black didn't end up playing bishop c6. Makes sense because I suggested it. They played b5 here. Very interesting. I do not understand what's going on here. Okay, so b5, knight here. Took the knight, took the pawn. And I guess black is trying to say that this pawn can eventually be a big asset if it gets to an endgame. And white is trying to say that they have the bishop pair and they'll be able to mate black before this turns into a queen. Which is fair enough. I think I like white here. Somehow I'm not worried about this pawn, but I am worried about my king. It's black. Although there's going to be quite a lot of moves here before an attack happens. I think white is going to just go c4. This pawn, by the way, might just be a weakness as well. If black tries, or white tries to just throw everything at it. Hello to Ralph Wiggum. Wooly Ewok. You got a lot of big chiefs coming in. I see Bazmaniac as well. Just make sure, guys, there's no smoking in the chat. This is a pretty good set. Any moves here? Nope. Any moves here? Yes. Aryan played Rook FB8, which is the second best move according to the engine. Although, okay, this is a very base level engine. I'm sure that Aryan has studied this with a way better engine and found that Rook FB8 is the way to go. Jack Tor, hello. Clark Kent, hope you're doing well. I'm trying to figure out what the idea with Rook FB8 is. I assume that the point is that after a knight here and queen here, if, for example, the queen goes off this diagonal, then we win a pawn. That's my assumption. That's why I think it's important to put a rook on the b file. And yeah, I mean, in this position, you can take c5, but c3 is going to hang. Hello to Mr. PH Stabe. Why not rook a b8? Rook a b8 undefends this pawn. So what does that mean? That means that if this happens and we go here and they go here and we take, remember this queen is hit, then this pawn is going to hang. So you don't win a pawn. I love that noted Pepe. Tricky Hickey, yes. That's our Aryan for you. Wow, this game is interesting. Let's see what happened. Check out the developments. Okay, wow, okay, so white did end up taking on d5, and they played knight g5. I do not understand knight g5. What's the threat? Is the point to go f4? Probably it's to go f4, huh? It's just to get out of the way. Sacking on e6, but it's so far away. I mean, the bishop is defending and there's a pawn. There's no way that it's even close to sacking on e6. But f4 makes a lot more sense, I think. I mean, of course, it's black to move here. Like, this is definitely no good, because we can probably just take. Actually, no, I don't think that's the move. I think in this position, we just probably just go back, to be honest, and say that this is weakening. I don't know, I'm just like completely unfamiliar with the French, so I don't understand the idea here, but it'd be good to see what happens. But somehow I feel like h6 is not the way to play. This is like a bait bra move. And if you play h6, you're falling into the bait. Wildtax is saying h6 knight takes. Wow. Wildtax, you're a genius. This is exactly the move. Because here, rook takes, you take the knight, of course, and if queen here, then you go here. And it's impossible to defend the knight again. This is some genius stuff from Big Wild. Something I'm not used to seeing. Bunny noted. Okay, so on that note, on that bunny note, h6 does not work. So what do we do? For some reason, I really want to play knight f4, but that doesn't work. Can we play before? Okay, okay. I have a legit suggestion here. What if we go bishop f6? My idea with bishop f6 is to go e5. But I am worried about queen h5. This is actually a threat that's very hard to stop. We almost have to take the knight here. And now we can go for e5. But it comes at the expense of losing the bishop pair. But this could be playable, I think. Turkey Dinosaur, thank you for the prime. That's another fresh prime. You're not allowed to discuss any of Eric's moves here? Of course you are. Discuss away. So b6, white played queen f3. Honestly, I'd be lying if I said that I understand the past like 5 moves of Eric's game. I have absolutely no idea what's going on, and I am not going to lie. But I think what Eric's trying to do is put his queen on g3, put a bishop on g5, and take advantage of the e5 pawn. Because there's also a very important point in this position is that if the queen goes to g3, then we have a big threat. I really like this for Eric, and I think that this game has the potential of being a big KO. Yes, the bishops are extremely good here. Just look at them, eyeing the diagonals, ready to say hi to you. Be Muffle, subscribed, 32 months. Thank you, Be Muffle. Al Hashmi tier 3 for 41 months. He says, go Eric. Go Al Hashmi. Thanks for the 41 months. Hope you're doing well. Wherever you are in the world. Arian's game. We're still on Rook FB8. Waiting for some moves here. We'll put it on Eric though. Really curious as to how Black is planning on defending this because there's a ton of different ideas here for white, but I'm sure there's only like one or two ways to defend here for black. Out of curiosity, I'm just going to check the engine. Unsurprisingly, the engine says that black is slightly better, but my brain says that white has all the ideas here. You can pick who to listen to. F5. F5 makes a lot of sense actually, like as a defensive move. You know, this pawn is a thorn, so F5 and this happens, then black does not have to worry. Actually here probably with the rook, yeah. And if we don't en passant, then what are we doing? Because the bishop is not blocked. So that's actually a very key move. And I think it's something that black will actually play. It's one of the reasons why the engine did not like queen f3 at all. It wanted queen h5 because now after f5 it's a bit of a different story. We take, and after rook takes, we're definitely doing very well here. Hello to Eviscerated. Good morning. Alright, let's get rid of that shit. Guys, we released a YouTube video a few hours ago. Make sure you check it out. It's a pretty funny one, to be honest. Think you'll like it. It's a long one, but it's funny. And it's pretty much Aman dissecting the chess.com report on Mr. Hans Niemann. Exclamation mark, new vid. This is like the middle game lull, where everyone is thinking, trying to come up with some ideas. So we're not really getting a lot of moves. Middle game lull. Any other interesting games here? Let's see here. Any names that I recognize? No. No games that I recognize. Throw yourself in the dust. Throw yourself in the dust. Bunny noted. Wow. This music is very relaxing. The Anand game is pretty interesting. So white is down a pawn here. There's no way white is like doing that well in this position. Pretty convinced Anand is pretty happy with this. But okay, that is to say, like, this pawn is very weak. It's an isolated pawn. It's pretty hard to defend given that there's so many pieces around it from white's end. Like, for example, here, I'm sure it's just hanging. Why can't we just take? But if this happens, then I assume this is a pretty drawish position in general. For example, yeah, knight takes e4, g5. It's probably a move. Trying to see if there's any sacks, but I don't think so. But I think the king just goes to f8. And is this a way to draw? I don't know. Chess Bros Part 2. In the next few days, there's a bit of a hiccup with releasing that video because of all the Hans Niemann videos that we decided to release. So it's just going to be delayed a few days, but you should expect it in the next few days. Hopefully by the end of this week. But it's ready. I mean, it's completely ready. Just the timing of the release. Hello to Bucko. Good morning to Big Buck. Still new moves in the Aryan game, which I understand. This is like, it's tough to come up with a plan here for white. If you're not going knight b3, then what are you doing? Good night, Sean. We gotta move here. So here was when I was saying maybe c4 after queen e7, but white played rook b1. So white is not really going for the c4 idea. I think what they're trying to do is potentially go rook b4 and try and go for the pawn via like bishop c2 or bishop b5. But with this move, I assume that white is trying to, yeah, trying to go for the pawn. Bishop b5 wins. Bishop b5 where? We gotta move here, and black did end up playing f5. That's probably not a move that we wanted to see, because it makes white's life a bit difficult. I'm not sure what you're talking about, F Gagon. Are you talking about this game? Bishop takes f6, what do you do? No, no, no. F5 is by far the best move in this position, and it makes a lot of sense. First of all, after F5, if you en passant, then you're definitely not doing very well here as white. And if you're not doing, if you're not taking, then now your bishop is blocked. So F5 is actually a very important defensive move and the best move in the position. And it kind of renders this queen on F3 a bit useless, because now if it goes to G3, you're not really threatening anything. After bishop H6, there's many ways to defend G7, like queen E7, maybe even rook F7. Bishop B5 with ideas of bishop C6 and rook D1. Here. I like bishop B5. I think it's a good move. Hans told you it was good? Oh, tell Hans I said hi. Did Eric play bishop b5? Yeah, makes sense. Bishop b5, it seems good. Seems good. Still no move in the Aryan game. We did get a move. Oh no, we didn't get a move. But we didn't really look at the knight g5 here, did we? No, I don't think so. So let's see here. Oh, we did look at knight g5. Yeah, we did look at it. Never mind. Is this a classic tourney? Yeah, it is. This is taking place in a small town in Austria, and it's a team tournament. Eric is playing for the team Offerspiel, which is Magnus's chess club. And Eric is the only Canadian on this Norwegian team. Though I should say Magnus is not playing today. So Aryan is on the first board and Eric is on the second board. And we have Johann Sebastian Christensen on the third. This is the lineup for the day here. And we're playing against a Swiss team. Swiss team, 0 Swiss player. Yeah. Really? Is that true? Yeah, it is true. They're all German. G-E-R, F-R-A, G-E-R, and then G-R-E. G-E-R and G-R-E. Noted. If you want to look at some of the games, or sorry, some of the teams here. Beersheva all Israeli team. FC Bayern Munich. Wait, this is a troll, right? FC Bayern Munich? Isn't that a soccer team? They're trolling hard, no? Mr. Amin Tabatabai from Iran is playing on FC Bayern Munich. Noted. Okay, these are some funny names. There's a team called Perfect. Well, this team is not perfect because Hans is not playing in it. Viking Chess Club. Tons of teams here, as you can see. And it's not over. It wants me to click on show complete list. All right, let's go back here. Any moves? Wow. Black played Queen H4. Aggressive. Not sure where the queen is going, but I like it. I like it. Really not sure what that queen is doing. There's no way this was the best move. Oh my god, it was the best move. Okay, it was the second best move. Yeah, I agree. F4 is like, well, now that I'm looking at the engine, F4 here would be pretty devastating. Like, it just seems very cramping. But I guess the point here with Queen H4 is kind of the opposite. Like, they want to play Queen H4, then play F4, whereas they could have just played F4 in the beginning. But I think Black is trying to do the same idea, except they want Queen H4 first. Which I think there's some merit to this for sure. Because now if you play F4, then the queen is immediately supporting Bishop G4, for example. But in general, like, one thing to learn from the way that Black is playing is, for example, if it was me, I would try and play like Queen E7. Like, I would just like chill. But this is not a position where you can just play slow moves, because Black, or correction, White is just going to slowly improve. These aggressive moves are stuff that we can all learn from. The best defense is a good offense. Hello to Benjamin. Yeah, that's a good point. There's also a lot of pressure on F2. This bishop on C5 is like ridiculously strong because there's no like good way to kick it out. Of course, because these pawns are double and isolated, which means that there's nothing on the D file and nothing on the B file to kick the bishop away. So it's a bit of a trek to get rid of this bishop on C5, though I think at some point White should play bishop E6 and just neutralize these pieces hitting F2. But you know, now in hindsight, like, this rook on E1 is kind of just hitting rock. So I don't know where this rook belongs, but it doesn't feel like it belongs here. Best defense is good offense, exactly. You should bunny note the shit out of that one. We're not on Chess TV, are we? Somehow I have 5,000 viewers, so I think we are. Okay. You should bunny note the heck out of that one. Bishop e3 is forced here. Yeah, it's also very intuitive, so I think Eric will play. By the way, 5,000 viewers is more viewers than I've seen in a very long time. Sorry, all my tabs just got minimized for some reason. So I'm just putting it all up back up again. God bless the Chess TV. All hail Chess TV. Am I nervous? Yes, I'm, now that you mentioned it, I'm nervous. Wait. I'm extremely nervous now. I'm sweating. I'm gonna turn red. I don't know what to do with myself. I have more viewers than Taylor Javot. Bunny noted. You know, it doesn't sound that stupid when I say it, but if I just imagine like myself in third person looking at my body repeating these like stupid things like Bunny noted, I can see how some people would think that I sound like an absolute weirdo. Still on knight g5 here. Black. Black is really thinking. Although white has 20 minutes left if this time is equal, so or exact. I mean. Okay, so this happened in this position, by the way. Knight takes, and black did play g5, and so the calculation was that if this happens, this is all forced. The king has to go to f8, and I'm pretty sure this is like a forced draw, no? I think this is like a draw. Check, or sorry, take here. Can white not just force a draw? Or am I missing something? By the way, this is kind of a good song. Rook takes c5. Here, rook takes c5. Oh, that's a good point. I missed that idea. I think it's still okay, but yeah, this is a good way to play. But I just don't like the fact that now you get rook d8. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it, by the way. I think after rook d8, you kind of have a hard time playing now. This is bishop and this rook. This is like a permapin. So I don't think this line works, but it was a good suggestion because I completely missed that idea. Yeah, this is completely equal. Wait. Yeah, okay. So this is the draw. But rook takes e4. No, rook takes e4 is not a good move. Takes, and this is a draw. King f8, as I was saying, and knight e7. So now the question is whether white is going to go for that or if they're going to push. I don't know if you can push here though. Like, just doesn't seem like a position where pushing is justified. Although the engine is saying bishop c1 and white is better. I would literally like bishop c1 is like the last thing I would do. I would play bishop c7 over bishop c1. JC Digital Girl, another 2 gifted subs. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You're too nice. Yeah, I'm curious to see what route white will take here, actually. Pretty interesting. You know, I guess my way of thinking is that you're playing Anand, so you should just take the draw, but who am I to say? Okay, we got some moves here. Knight d2, rook fb8, knight b3 was played, and I assume that Aryan is going to go queen a4 here. This is kind of like the whole idea behind his moves. Queen a4. And okay, so obviously you can't do knight takes c5. And black is threatening to win a pawn. So you need to defend b3 somehow. Maybe just rook f b1. No, because then c4 is coming. So what is the plan here after queen a4? Because c4 is always going to be a threat. I mean, if we play rook here, c4, and knight here, is this going to be the idea? Wait, I'm going to turn this off, by the way. Is this like the only idea in this position? Because I can't really think of another way to do it. Oh, he played rook fc1. Can we not just win a pawn here? Or he's going to take on c5 after, I guess, is the plan. Yeah, I feel like bishop takes b3 is probably just the... It's probably pretty equal here. If anything, I like white here. Yeah, I don't think that black should go into this. I think black should maintain the pressure after rook fc1. Okay, what happens on f5? Can we try f5? No, because c5 is hanging. We can't do that. We have to do something about this square. This is it's tough to come up with a concrete plan here for black. Hello to Zon Jones and all 5,242 of you. Did you hear that, Zon Jones? I said hello to 5,242 people who are unnamed, and then I said hello to you. So you're 1 in 5,242 kind of guy. Just saying, just saying. Have I already given my opinion on the Neiman report? You know, I'm like the Swiss. I'm a neutral kind of guy, you know? I'm just taking everyone's side when it benefits me. Yeah, man, I don't know what to do here as black. Like, it seems like I don't have anything special. I guess we just have to take the knight if we don't have anything else. Because this is a real threat. And c4 does not look like the way. There's just no way that taking off the tension in the center is going to benefit you here as black. So in hindsight, I think just doing this is probably the way. Just take, go in a position like this, and hope that you can queen the a pawn. When does Aman start commentary? Honestly, I have no clue. Zero clue. Hour and a half. 12 p.m. EST. Makes sense. All right, let's go back to Eric's game, see what happened here. Wow, we got some moves. Okay, so rook a d8, queen g3, takes, h takes, and this is the position. I think Eric's position has improved a little bit. You know, as we get closer and closer into an endgame, this pawn on e5 is going to be strong, especially because it's passed, and it can be protected. Obviously not immediately, but in the future. But what black has going for him is that white has these double isolated pawns, which are going to be very weak if more pieces get traded off. So I think it's not looking too good. I don't think it's looking too good if we keep trading things off. But I still like trading the queens off because I did not like white's prospects after f4 in that position. Here. Like if we just did anything and allowed f4, we're just getting rolled over. Yeah, we've been checking the engine every once in a while, Spenny. Pretty much whenever I don't know what to say, I check the engine. B check. And I guess another thing I should say is that this bishop on e6 is doing an extremely good job of blocking the e5 pawn. What kind of question is that, Naz? Jeez. Oh, we got a lot of moves, and I believe Aryan did what I was thinking. Because yeah, I also could not see any way to keep the tension here. So Aryan took, traded everything off, and we got rook a6, which makes a lot of sense. This pawn is kind of hard to defend. I don't think you want to make a passive move here, such as rook b6. Don't think rook b6 makes sense. I think as black in these kind of positions, you should get your own counterplay. Even if it means losing a pawn. So is there a way that we could continue some sort of attack? For example, if you take pawn takes. I was thinking of c5, but I don't think c5 works. Because it's not even mate. The rook just goes back. And if pawn takes, it's also bad. So if we don't go there, what do we do? I guess maybe we do have to play rook b6. What about a move like e5, by the way? No, that's crappy. It's an awful move. Okay. I have an idea. If we play c4, rook takes c6 and a5, and just hang every single pawn, what happens? Is this anything? This seems kind of hard to deal with, to be honest. Like, the rook on c4 is extremely misplaced, but I think white should play something like that and give up a pawn, and then I think they're okay. If anything, it's slightly better here. So I don't think that line works, but it's an interesting try. But I really like rook a6, by the way, from white. I think it's a very challenging move. Another idea could be rook b8. And the point is, for example, if here, then we go here. And just to show, if a nothing move, then we can win like this. I think rook b8 is actually very accurate. This might be the move. Although, on this one, maybe they just play h3 here. And now if we go here, it's nothing. You just go king h2, and everything is hanging. But you could probably start going after some pawns yourself as black, but I don't believe this. Don't believe this. I think this is still worse for black. Okay, Aryan played rook b6. I mean, you try and find the active moves, but I don't think there was any in that position, so in the end you should just defend. And yeah, I think black is still okay here. Eric played rook d1. So we got h6 and then rook d1, which made sense. This rook was doing absolutely nothing on e1. Now it's keeping an eye on the d5 pawn, which means that this rook is not really able to move. But the downside of rook d1, by the way, is that now bishop e3 is going to be harder to get. Here it was a bit more sensible because after bishop takes, you can take with the rook. Whereas now that it's moved off the e file, it's tougher to play because you don't want the structure. You don't want another isolated pawn, for example. Like, you don't want this. That's why it looks very gross. Literally 3. Look at these pawns. This is probably as worst of a pawn structure as you can get. But I like rook d1 in general. It's going to take a while until black can try and attack f2 anyway. So I don't think we really need to worry about this bishop on c5. My question though is, what are we doing with our bishop on c1 if we're not going to e3? That's what makes this position extremely annoying. Like if it goes to f4, g5, and well, where else can it go? There's literally no other place to put it. You don't really want to put it to d2 after you put your rook on d1. You don't want to block your rook, but you might have to do that. For example, bishop d2 and bishop e1. Although I don't know what the bishop is doing there. It's definitely a tough position to play as white. Like I don't like white's position here. King f1, f4. Yeah, I like that a lot. Like king f1, f4. In fact, I think that's a very, very good idea. Any plan that gets out of this diagonal or neutralizes the bishop, I think is a good plan. How do beads evaluate this position? I don't really want to look at it because I think it's pretty bad. Ugh, this is almost -2. d4 apparently is the move, which, yeah, I can see that. Yeah, Eric has not been getting into very good positions lately, hey? d4 looks very strong. Yeah, he was minus. Yeah, he was like completely lost yesterday, and his opponent blundered like an exchange. What do we do after d4? It's a very, very good question. Intuitively, I want to take this pawn. You know, another thing to keep in mind, by the way, is that white should be trying in this position to exchange the bishops in a way where they get an opposite colored bishop. Because if there's opposite colored bishops on the board, the chances of drawing are going to like exponentially increase, even though sometimes the engine will like one side. With opposite bishops, anything is possible. So that's something that you should keep in mind here, I think, in the worst position as white. But yeah, I would immediately take here. What happens on bishop a2? You know, there's a very important idea here, and that's that after a move like rook here, bishop takes, there's now tons of different tactics against this rook on d1 because the bishop is in the way. So for example, bishop takes, and here there might be, although I think right now there's too much material being lost, but there might be ideas of bishop takes f2. So that's something to keep in mind in all these lines that we see. But anyway, the rook is pinned naturally, so we don't really need to worry about that. Like if we just go back, rook takes a7, bishop takes. This is not possible, for example, because now we can take. And we're going to win. So that's an idea. It's going to be a common theme in all the positions after d4. But okay, black did not play d4. That's good to see. Let's see what the lines are now. Okay, now apparently bishop e3 is a good move. But oh my god, we're getting that structure again. Ugh. Like, there's no way Eric sees this structure and thinks, oh, I should play bishop e3 and go into it. Like, it's just so hard to justify bishop e3 here. But then again, like, you know, you're trading things, so you should probably be happy here as white, as long as you're not losing material. But it's just so tough to justify this. Like, yeah, as I was saying before, it doesn't get much worse than this. Like, if you're ever reading a book on pawn structures, this is the position that the book is going to use to justify, or sorry, to show you an example of like the worst possible pawn structure you can have. And I don't know. Engine is saying black is slightly better, but I assume that a GM or, you know, an IM very strong player will be able to push very hard here as black and get like a very good, maybe even winning position. So Eric did not play bishop e3, and we still have d4 as a possible move. This might be one of those positions where both sides are just blind to the idea of how good d4 is. Not that I know or I understand why it's good, but just looking at the engine, it's continually saying that d4 should happen. But I wonder if eventually one side will see it and just completely neutralize it. But yeah, I mean, there's no way Eric was going to play bishop e3 here, because then you're just asking your opponent to just grind you down in an awful structure. And of course, the idea with a4 is to like plead black to allow a5, but I think black, if black has any understanding of the game, they're just going to play a5 themselves and completely stop all counterplay. Because let's say something random happens here. Let's say you just play g5. Now maybe you can play a5 here as white and try and get some open files for your pieces, and at least get rid of one bad aspect of your position, which was that isolated a pawn. Yeah, I'm sure the position is like technically fine, but it's just intuitively not something you want to go into, especially if you're trying to like push for a win. Because in this game, like, of course, it doesn't matter that Eric is slightly worse. He's still trying to win. And I think bishop e3 has almost zero winning chances. You're just asking you're just begging for a draw there. Ah, there's a lot of moves here in the Aryan game. Curious to see what happened. Rook b6. Looks like we might just be heading for a draw here, to be honest. Opponent's rating is 2448. If you're asking about Eric's opponent, Ralph. 2448. You can see it here on the side. Hello to the Lobster Knight. Is Amadon's game on DGT? Ooh, that's a good question. Amadon's name is like Killian Delaney or something, if I remember correctly. Oh, it's just so hard to find. That's the problem. Just so many games here. Oh. No, it's not, unfortunately. Just he's playing Simon Williams, but there's no moves. By the way, Control F worked there. I tried it before and it was not working, but I guess now it works. I might have had to like click on the window. I probably forgot to do that last time, which is why it didn't work. If there's any games that are happening that you guys want me to look at, let me know. So yeah, this is happening, by the way. This idea with Bishop C2 that I mentioned earlier. So white provoked G6, but I don't think there's any way that black is actually getting mated here. He's probably now just going to go for the pawn on the A file. Eric played King F1. Objectively, I like this move. But yeah, somehow like D4 is apparently extremely strong, but neither side is playing it. Oh my god, okay. Apparently now King E2 is okay for for white. But I think Eric is trying to play F4. So what if he plays F4 here? By the way, the idea with King E2 is to play Bishop E3 and take with the king. Yes, exactly, Mattis. Eric, by the way, has less time, almost half of as much time as his opponent. Is Czech Manirov in the chat? Or is Mattis trolling? King E2 would be huge if we see it. Yeah, I think this game is going to head for a draw. Aryan should be comfortably drawing this one. Like, for example, and probably f3 here, I want to say. No. Here, and king f8 here, and f6, and should be like very comfortable draw. It's probably the line. Oh, maiden 1, you're right, sorry. f3 you have to play. Wait, then I guess we shouldn't allow this because f3 is forced, and okay, black is going to be up a pawn, but I think this is going to be a draw because of rook c7. By the way, this game ended in a draw, the Anand game. But it didn't end in a draw in the way that we were talking about. He went here and just exchanged everything. Eric's game, there's a few moves. Eric played f4, bishop d7, takes, and we're in this position. Well, white has definitely improved here, that's for sure, because d4 is never possible anymore, at least not to the extent that it was before. Now I think king e2 is a very natural move because you want to play bishop e3, and guys, I think this is heading more and more towards a draw. So Eric played king e2. You like white now? I don't know if we should like white because, again, there's a pretty bad pawn structure here for white. The only thing that white has going for him is the protected passed pawn. But in general, like, black is an extremely solid position. So it's tough to say that white is like much better. By the way, I'm saying that no matter what the engine says. So yeah, it's like equal. Control over the H file, yeah, but I mean H6 is played, so it's tough to like keep pushing. Like if you get the H file, where are you going to make progress? Remember that whatever moves you make, black also gets a move, so it's pretty easy to defend. Probably if I was black, I would want my king on e6, and it's just very easy to hold. Like you can imagine a position, for example here, even h5 here, and the idea is to just go g6. How do you make progress here as white? Your only break is c4, but you can't just play c4, you're just gonna lose a pawn. Yeah, but it's gonna be extremely hard to win this as white. And it's extremely hard to lose it, so I think a draw is very, very likely in this game. Haven't looked at this game in a while. Let's go and check out what happened. Last time we checked, it was at knight g5, and black played rook a e8. So we were looking at a structure similar to this, I think, before, and I was saying take and try for e5. But black played f5 first, which makes a lot of sense. It's kind of like a preparation move, and they're going to go for e5 later. But white played f4, which stops e5, at least comfortably. And we get this position. Very imbalanced. I don't like this knight at all, which was to be expected given the opening where the knight was going to g6. So intuitively, I'd really like to get to see an improvement on this knight. Like if I can try and get it here, but it just takes a lot of moves. Bishop d2, bishop c6, h4. Now there's a big threat, I believe. Like if we just do nothing, h5, and the knight has to go somewhere. Goes here, we can just take. I assume we can just take this. Yeah, that's a very good point actually from Ralph. Black is up a ton of time, so that's a big plus. Man, why do people keep calling me Ian Nepomniachtchi? Jeez, I don't know. I think that's a big insult, but you can be the judge. Hurting my ego over here, Mr. Hosta Mahage. To me or Ian? I'll let you answer that question. Hello to what's up, brah. h6 is attacked. e4 is coming. It's very hard here for black to do something with the a3 pawn. It's pretty convenient as well that the a1 square is a square that's opposite to the bishop, which is a very important thing to realize. And all that means is that it'll be extremely hard to stop this blockade on a1. Aryan's game is still stuck on rook d8. Look at this knight. It's crazy. It's like extremely boxed in. These two pawns and the queen. It's a very funny structure, actually. Big pawn on g5, exactly. A strong pawn. Hitting 50 squares. Oh, we got some stuff here. White played d5. And now it's definitely going to be trash. I assume rook takes. And rook takes. And probably something like h3. And now this is going to fall? Don't know. This should be quite drawish, but I think black can still push. Wow, here the suggestion is bishop c3. It's a random move that I don't think Aryan is going to play. Actually, maybe h3 doesn't make sense because you probably want to cover or to create luft with a light square, so that the bishop can never cover. But yeah, either way. Eric's game, Eric went rook h1. I was saying maybe here h5 would be interesting. Because then if rook h1, you go g6. And it's very solid. Like if you're going for a draw at least. But maybe as black you're trying to push. If you're trying to push, then you wouldn't play h5. But anyway, they played king e6 and rook h1. And Eric's idea is probably to go king f3 and g4. Maybe that's a plan. That's like the only way you can push. Yeah, all the games except for Johan Christensen feel pretty drawish. I don't know about this one though. This one it can go either way. I feel like both sides have chances here. What do we do here as black? It's a good question. If we want to go this way, we have to defend the e6 pawn somehow first, which is pretty hard to do. Rook f6 could be interesting. For example, rook f6, h5, and knight e7. And I like the rook on f6 because then h6 is not possible because of the rook. All while the knight is going to d5. Another thing to note here is that, like, maybe h5 is not necessarily a threat because wait, what if we just go to knight? What if we just go to h8? It looks bad, but I have a very clear idea of going to f7, h6, and g4. This could be a very good move as well. We do have to deal with a bishop c4 move, but I think on bishop c4 we just put our bishop on e4. And it's like a double purpose move. It blocks the rook and it attacks the bishop. I think you're underestimating the knight on f7. I think the knight on f7 is extremely strong because it also goes to d6. If it doesn't go to h6, it can go to d6. So for some reason, I really like knight h8, but I'm probably just missing something. It's like a move you usually don't want to do, but I think in this specific situation, it could make a lot of sense. Rook f6 as well. I think rook f6 is also pretty good. Both just quite different ideas, but I like them both. Okay, black played queen b7. Just out of curiosity, what was the best move here? Oh my god, the two moves I suggested are the best moves. Knight h8 and rook f6. But okay, it still says it's like completely drawn. Okay, queen b7. I like queen b7 a lot, actually. It provokes a move like g3, although we're not really attacking g2, so we don't really need to play it, but supports bishop e4, bishop d5. Yeah, I think I like this move, but how are you going to deal with h5? Because there's a big difference here. If you play knight h8 now, it's a bit different because white has the opportunity to go h6, and you can't go here now because it's made. So you have to go up this way, which might still be okay. Position like this. Maybe we take with the king. Is there any moves in Eric's game? Eric went to d3. I thought he would go to f3. But I guess d3 makes sense as well. His point is that whenever d4 happens, he's probably just going to go c4. And then this would definitely be very drawish. The king would just blockade the d4 square. I'm pretty confident that we'll see a draw here. No. White is never gonna go c4 themselves. Like, they're just gonna chill on d3 and reply with c4 when black goes d4. The point is not to go. This is just suicide. Aryan's game. Is Aryan gonna push here? He should. He's like slightly better because he has a pawn up in this rook endgame, rook and bishop. But okay, he's playing a 2600 GM. It's gonna be hard to actually like push for a win, but he's gonna try, of course. Pretty low risk position here for black. Wow, I like the energy. White played b4 here. Very interesting stuff. b4. I don't think this changes any of your ideas as black. I think you're still trying to play all the same moves. I'd still be an advocate of knight h8. Um, Bishop d5 also seems pretty good. Like bishop d5, c4 is interesting though, because takes, I'm not sure if you want this position. Now it's very dangerous. So I don't know if bishop d5 is actually good. Don't think so. In hindsight. Although maybe you could just go here. Is there any way to... No. No, I don't like this. I don't like this. Some bishop b4 might be okay then. You would have gone a4 when the queen was on c7. Here. I don't think b4 is such an important move that you have to play like a prophylaxis to stop it though. Like this might just be a waste of time. And by the way, in this position, is there a tactic here? This might be very annoying to deal with. In this exact position, if you play a5, it's going to be very annoying to defend. Because you know the point of queen b7 is that if bishop c4, you can play bishop d5. But if you don't play queen b7 here and you play a5, now bishop d4, and you can still play bishop d5, but take, and you have an awful pawn structure. So b4 happened, and black is thinking here. I still think that knight h8 is probably a good move to go to f7. Oh, okay, they played rook f6, which is another one of my ideas. I think it's a very good move. And this allows potentially knight e7. That's the main idea with rook f6, is to defend e6 laterally. Because knight e7 blocks this rook. All right, some more moves here in the Eric game. I think they should be agreeing to a draw here pretty soon. It's very hard to make progress for either side here. And yeah, these two pawns are never going to move. And this king is also never going to move. And as long as you maintain this, and this, it should be like impossible to push here as black. And this bishop, by the way, is also never going to move. Pretty much all these pieces are going to stay where they are for the rest of the game. Okay, Eric is going for g4. That's pretty much one of the last things that he can go for. And oh, another thing to note, by the way, is that here if bishop takes, king takes, d3, white is just going to go, well, okay, sorry. The pawn on b6 is hanging. But I was just trying to say, let's say this pawn was not hanging. After d3, white is going to go c3 and just keep everything closed. But yeah, that's my bet. The pawn is hanging, so black would never do that. Which is why I was saying that all these pieces are probably going to stay where they are. And white is going to try for g4, but I don't see anything coming out of it. To avoid h5, h5 was not possible here. Like if he didn't go rook h4 or h5 would not be like, okay, let's say he went, let's say he went rook here. h5 is not going to be possible. Oh, sorry. He went rook h1 to avoid h5. So rook b, e1, rook h5, then g4. I think Eric is just taking a more direct approach. He's just going to go for g4 pretty much immediately. The question though here is, how do you play as black? I think the way to do it is put a rook on h8, and on g4 you play g6. And then in this position it should be pretty hard to, or no, sorry, on g4 you play rook here. And I think on this position it's pretty hard to progress. But it's a bit tricky, isn't it? Like for example, g5. Ideally you want to play this, but then this happens and now you're like lost. And then on g6, the problem is that now the h file is going to be very weak. White might be going for something here. We'll see. So now if we play g4, is Eric like trying to get an advantage here out of nothing and succeeding? I don't see a way to like concretely stop the counterplay altogether. By the way, this is one of the main reasons why I was saying that here black should play h5. That's why I said black should play h5, because now it's a bit different. You just get g6 and it's just a very solid position. But he didn't do that, and so I think now it's coming back to bite him. Yeah, I'm a big fan. I think it's like the only way that you can improve your position here as white. Nothing is going on the, like on this side of the board. So you can try and push on the king's side. But yeah, rook f7. And you have to be quick with g5 here, I think. G4, sorry. Wow, look at this. Guys, look at this. The evaluation is plus 2.2. It's unbelievable. Where did it go wrong? Damn. This is crazy. G4 is like not that good of a move here. It wants rook h1. Sorry guys, this is a position I don't understand, so I am going to have to check with the engine. So rook f1 and rook h1 are the top moves. Rook f1 makes sense because when you play g4, you're trying to support f5. And by the way, rook f1, just to play it out here, if we play g4, it's not good because bishop takes d2, king takes d2, and then they can take. And if something like this, for example, then you're going to go rook f5. Yeah. G4 right away is bad because after this, kind of the same idea, and then you play king f5, rook f5. No, not rook f5, because the pawn hangs, and this hangs. But king f5 comes with tempo, and now you're blockading on the light squares, and your king is coming in, by the way. All right, I'm gonna turn the engine off because it's throwing me off. Wow, Eric played g4 immediately. This is not supposed to be the best move. But he's still slightly better. I think black has to play pretty accurately here if they want to hold. Aryan is pushing, but it's going to be very hard to win here, to be honest. The lower boards, so the only other board that I have access to that has live games is this one. But yeah, I think I like black's position. I think black has a lot of ideas here. This is Johann Sebastian Christensen's game. You know, it's just always a good sign when you see these bishops locked in. So that's the way where you know that like white can't be like too good. And again, there's a lot of clear plans here to take over these light squares with the bishop and with the knights. What set is this? Here, I can paste the set. Yeah, white lost the threat on the attack, and they're trying to make up for it by going for some weird queenside attack, which is strange because the king is like doing nothing on h4. It seems like everything is like kind of uncoordinated here for white because it looks like he's going for like 50 different ideas, like a failed attack, bishops are closed, and there's some weird like queenside plan happening that I don't really get. I think it's nice to see. Black is thinking here after g4. Eric has 4 minutes and 46 seconds, and black has 12 minutes and 20 seconds. Ah, this is a very important move. And I think after this one, it's tough to keep pushing because the rook can't move. Because the pawn is going to hang. So you have to exchange. But now here it's like extremely difficult to win this. So I wouldn't be surprised if Aryan agrees to a draw here pretty soon. Guys, Eric is plus 2.38 here. If he just takes on f5 and plays g3. By the way, isn't g4 like extremely tempting here? This is not supposed to be good. Yeah, makes sense because the pawn is gonna hang, and there's no way you can progress here as white. So you just play g3, eh? g3. And I guess the point here is that you quietly support f4 and play g4 at the correct time. Maybe with king e4. He didn't take, he played g3. It's kind of like a slower way of doing it. On this one and this, king f5, right? Oh, I think Eric missed g5. Wow, this is a very strong move. g5 is extremely strong. King e4 hangs the bishop. Yeah, I'm not saying that all these moves happen at the same time. I was just saying, like, in general, you can make moves like this to support your pawn. But I mean, sure, you can take first and then go king e4. Either way. Eric is winning. Eric has been winning for a while. But his opponent is thinking here after g3. Yeah, I agree, Drugulus. The ideas are pretty easy, but I think still there's some subtleties that are being missed. I wonder if Aryan agreed to a draw here, because there hasn't been a move in a while, and it seems like it's forced that you have to take the rook, right? Because if you like go anywhere, isn't this just going to be fine for white? They just get a pawn back, so you have to take like this, but then this is pretty easy to draw. I mean, this is enough where they can just stop playing because like one pawn up and a bishop endgame is never going to be a win, unfortunately. Eric is slightly better here, but yeah, he's like the only side that can push. This is a very strange game. Don't know how to evaluate it. White is kind of just like playing all over the board. There's no like consistent plan. Yeah, I agree. Security guy. Eric is well, Eric is down 3 minutes right now, but in general, yeah, both players are down quite a bit of time. Okay, Aryan took and played g4, which makes a lot of sense. It's kind of just blockading these pawns, and well, he's gonna try for a few more moves, I guess, to win, but White's goal is just to keep exchanging, and at some point where there's only one pawn on the board left, they're just going to sack their bishop for a pawn, and it'll be a draw. What about this game? What happened here? Queen d4 is such a nice move to get. I think I like black here, but probably it's just pretty equal. Oh, e5, e5. I missed that. e5, rook takes. The point is bishop takes, and if takes, bishop b2. Makes sense. But you know, the problem is that, especially if the rooks trade off, it's the opposite color bishops are going to be tough to keep pushing. Any moves here? Guys, I'm going to take a quick break. I'll be right back. Hello, hello. All right. I'm surprised that Eric is not taking on f5. Sorry about that. But yeah, I was gonna say I'm surprised Eric is not taking on f5. Oh my god, the only move to maintain an advantage here is bishop c1. There's absolutely no way that Eric is gonna play that. Rook takes g4 is definitely going to happen. King f5. And then what do we do? Are we just going back maybe and saying that g4 is coming? But then takes, right? And now I don't know what's happening. No, this can't be good. There's no way this is good. But after this, we don't even need to go king e4. Maybe g5? You know, g5 is always an idea in these positions. I feel like if black opens some lines, then it could be pretty okay. Oh my god, Eric played bishop c1. Wow. Unbelievable. I don't get that, but like this is like completely out of my league. I'm not even gonna try and black bishop totally useless. Yeah. Hello to Casey Ingram. Is he in the chat? Okay, my question is what happens after king f5? We're probably going to go rook h5 check. And then wherever the king goes, I don't think g5 works. There's no way g5 works here. Wherever the king goes, we're going to go to e4. Yeah. I think it's a pretty self-explanatory plan. If g5 happens, what are we going to do? Probably just take that. And then this, and wow, black is almost getting mated. Maybe actually no, we played this. And now black is definitely getting mated. As an example, well, if you go here, this is checkmate. And if you don't go there, then you're losing. It's going to be checkmate anyway. So I think this is important to take with the bishop. Otherwise, yeah, king f5, rook checks, king g6, and I assume now king e4. Yeah, and wow, this is crazy. So, as an example, let's say a nothing move. Check here, and this works because take, check. If here it's checkmate, and if here you take the rook. It's like lost, right? This is like KO. If here, how do we progress? Because it stops f5. Trying to find the KO. Rook f1 hangs the rook. So let's not do that. I don't know. We'll let Eric decide. There's probably a slow move. E6 is an idea, yeah. E6 is a move for sure. And it's probably the only move. I was trying to look for another move, but must be the only way to play then. I just don't really want the king blockading, but I guess then you just do this. Wait, rook f1, king takes h5, f5? Holy crap. Yeah. Wait, is this winning? Yeah, because this... I mean, it's kind of winning, but I don't think it's like KO winning. But yeah, I think e6 is the move. And then you're just getting rolled over. There's no way e6 is not like KO. Because e6, then you get f5, and then you just go bishop f4. Man, it's crazy how bad the bishop now is on b4. Like, bishop c1 is like genius. Oh my god, yeah, this is also a very good move. Wait, why is it a very good move? What's the threat here? Oh, rook 5. Oh, okay, yeah. This one, yeah. Makes sense. That one makes sense. He played e6. I think e6 is the cleanest way. That one is Mr. Ralph Wiggins' suggestion. Ah, but come on, this is so bad now. Like, any move here is good. I think even... Yeah, this is cool. If you take and take and take, then this one is going to win. So this is the line. And this is forced, and you take the rook. It's pretty much over. He can resign now. I think we'll see resignation, guys. This is gonna win. No, no, just kidding. Maybe just a quiet bishop f4 is enough. Oh, it does win, okay. I'm just playing out my intuition and not thinking. Yeah, because the idea is e7. So if takes, e7. And everything is going to hang there. It's pretty nice. Wow, let's go. I'm happy that Eric won. I'm a little bit happier that I get to go to bed again because I'm on 2 hours of sleep. Hello to Red Sun. And Dr. Lord Mayonnaise. Is it over? Oof. He's going to keep playing. This is a KO. It's really unfortunate because he can't even get a bishop out of it. Like, even check, you just go here. And, well, you have to be a bit patient here. You first take on h5 probably. And it's pretty easy from there. Boom! We won! Get the KOs out. I don't have the KO on my computer, but... Go Eric! Big W. From you know, worst position. Wasn't completely losing today, but at some point there was some scary moves that Black could have played, but didn't, which is all that matters. Hello to Twink Time. Bishop c1. That was the theme of this game. Quite a bit worse here, but fighting, and then I think d4 is where it all went wrong. This idea with d4 and then following up with c5. It just closed up all the counterplay for Black, and it only allowed White to play. And then, of course, this is the move here. I probably would not have played it because I'm bad, but Eric is not bad. So we saw it on the board, bishop c1, and now this bishop is just awful. It's just doing nothing. Very nice. The last like 10 to 15 moves of this game were just beautiful. Good to see. Mattis, you called it, buddy. First we equalize, then we win. Man, Mattis's sub badge looks very clean. The red and the gold. Oof. Beautiful. How's Aryan doing? Aryan, this is going to be a draw. Like 99% a draw. And then this game is still going. It's a bit messy. I'm not sure what's happening. But I think Black is better. Yeah, it looks like Black is winning. So far, we out of all the live boards, Eric won, Aryan is going to draw, and Johann Sebastian Christensen is winning. And yeah, this looks like a position that he won't mess up, hopefully. Let me just check here the if there's any results. No, I guess they're gonna update this. I don't think this gets updated live. But was I not invited? Where? What are you talking about, D-Lord? No, I was not invited to play on Magnus's team. Yep. Eric won. This is the final position. Looks like a team win today. Hopefully the other three boards, the bottom three boards, did well. But so far in the top three, it looks like it's going to be 2.5 out of 3. So we cannot complain. How long have I been live? Curious. Almost 4 hours. Cool. You think they all drew? Oh, okay. So then we definitely won this this match. All right, everyone. I think I'm gonna end off. Big W from Eric today. Tomorrow, gonna be playing. Hopefully, Magnus will play as well. It'll be some more exciting chess. Make sure you tune in at 8 a.m. Eastern for the coverage. Otherwise, I'm going to sign off. Thanks for all the support and for watching. Take care.